Under the vast Kenyan sky, where the golden savanna meets the winding rivers, a lone lion staggered through the unfamiliar landscape. Weak, injured, and far from home, he had traveled a staggering 700 kilometers, his once mighty form now reduced to a shadow of its former self. The locals gasped in disbelief. Lions had never been seen near their village. Where had he come from? What had brought this king of the wild to such a strange and foreign place? The villagers whispered among themselves, speculating whether a raging river had swept him away, or if his desperate hunger had driven him too far from his pride. Yet, one thing was certain: this lion was on the brink of collapse. Each step he took was labored, his wounded paw dragging through the dust. The great predator who once ruled the plains now stood at the edge of survival, a lost warrior in need of salvation. And with every passing moment, the wild grew more dangerous. Under the sweltering Kenyan sun, Tigress's strength was fading fast. The once mighty predator, now a shadow of his former self, limped along the outskirts of the village, his golden coat dulled by exhaustion. His injured paw throbbed with pain, making every step an agonizing struggle. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, but the unfamiliar landscape offered no prey. His sharp senses, once attuned to the rhythms of the wild, were overwhelmed by strange noises, voices, laughter, the distant clang of metal. He had never been this close to humans before. Desperate yet wary, Tigress's powerful frame trembled as he took a cautious step toward the village. He could smell food, but fear held him back. Then, his body betrayed him. With a final weakened growl, he collapsed near the entrance of the ranger station. The sudden presence of a massive lion sent a shockwave of fear through the rangers. But as they approached, they saw something unexpected in his eyes. Not aggression, but silent desperation. As news of the injured lion spread through the village, curiosity quickly turned into compassion. The once feared predator, now frail and helpless, stirred an unexpected sense of responsibility among the locals. Children peeked from behind their parents, whispering about the magnificent creature lying motionless near the ranger station. Some villagers, driven by both awe and sympathy, brought small offerings of food, fresh meat from the market, bowls of water carefully placed at a distance. Despite his hunger, Tigress was slow to trust. At first, he barely lifted his head, his golden eyes clouded with exhaustion. But as the days passed, the scent of nourishment became too tempting to resist. He took hesitant bites, slowly regaining his strength. The rangers, recognizing the lion's plight, contacted the Kenyan Wildlife Conservation Authority, who swiftly devised a plan. While the villagers had grown fond of their unlikely guest, experts warned Tigress could not survive here. He had to return home. But how? Desperate yet wary, Tigress's powerful frame trembled as he took a cautious step toward the village. He could smell food, but fear held him back. Then, his body betrayed him. With a final weakened growl, he collapsed near the entrance of the ranger station. The sudden presence of a massive lion sent a shockwave of fear through the rangers. But as they approached, they saw something unexpected in his eyes. Not aggression, but silent desperation. As Tigress regained his strength, the reality of his situation became clear. He could not survive in the village. Experts from the Kenyan Wildlife Conservation Authority worked alongside the local rangers to devise an unprecedented rescue plan. The only way to return Tigress home safely was through the air. A high-risk helicopter transport mission never attempted before for a lion of his size. The regional government swiftly approved the plan, and a custom-built transport cage was constructed to ensure Tigris's safety during the long journey. Meanwhile, the villagers gathered, some with tearful eyes, knowing they had to say goodbye to the lion they had come to care for. On the day of the operation, Tigris was sedated and carefully placed into the secure enclosure. As the helicopter roared to life, lifting off into the sky, the entire village watched in awe. Would the daring mission succeed? Or would the unpredictable nature of a wild lion bring unforeseen danger mid-flight? As the helicopter soared over the vast African plains, the team remained vigilant, monitoring Tigris's condition. Suddenly, a deep rumble came from the transport cage. Tigris had awakened mid-flight. For a brief moment, panic surged through the cabin. A fully grown lion, alert and confined, was an unpredictable danger. The rescuers held their breath, fearing he might thrash in fear or attempt to break free. But to their astonishment, Tigris remained still. His golden eyes flickered open, scanning the unfamiliar surroundings with curiosity rather than aggression. His chest rose and fell in slow, measured breaths, as if he somehow understood the humans were helping him. The tension gradually eased, though every second felt like an eternity. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the radio crackled. The helicopter was nearing its destination. As the aircraft descended toward the savannah, one final question remained. After all this time, would Tigris recognize his home, or had his bond with the wild been lost forever? As the helicopter touched down on the open plains, the moment of truth arrived. The rangers carefully unlatched the transport cage, stepping back to give Tigris space. For a long moment, he remained still, his golden eyes scanning the vast, sun-drenched savanna before him. The wind carried familiar scents, the scent of freedom. Slowly he stepped out, his powerful muscles rippling beneath his tawny coat. Then, in an instant, Tigris broke into a run, his massive paws kicking up dust as he charged toward the horizon. The villagers, rangers, and conservationists watched in awe, witnessing the breathtaking return of a lion who had defied the odds. But just as he was about to disappear into the wilderness, Tigris did something remarkable. He turned back, locking eyes with the humans who had saved him. For a fleeting moment, there was an unspoken understanding, a silent gratitude. Then, with one final mighty roar, Tigris vanished into the wild, reclaiming his rightful place as the king of the savannah. Months after his return to the wild, an unexpected crisis brought Tigris back to the village that had once saved him. A severe drought had left both wildlife and people struggling to find water, and in their desperation, a herd of massive elephants stormed toward the settlement, destroying crops and threatening homes. Fear gripped the villagers as the ground trembled beneath the approaching giants. Then, from the shadows of the tall grass, a familiar figure emerged. Tigris. No longer the weary, injured lion they had rescued, but now a mighty and powerful king of the savannah. With a thundering roar, he charged fearlessly toward the elephants, his golden mane bristling in the evening light. The massive creatures hesitated, startled by his commanding presence. With calculated steps, Tigris led them away, guiding them toward a distant watering hole. As the village watched in awe, they realized something extraordinary. Tigris had not forgotten their kindness. With one final glance toward his human protectors, he disappeared into the wilderness, leaving behind a legend of bravery and gratitude. This story is a reminder that every life is worth protecting. If you found it inspiring, follow my channel for more incredible wildlife stories.